Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Darren, this is Woodruff Woods. Hey, today is the day after Groundhog's Day, and if you didn't know, the groundhog did see a shadow, which is a big deal here in Pennsylvania. I've often wanted to go out to that show to see the groundhog. They say it's a big party all night long, and one of these years maybe I will make my way out to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania and check that all out. But today, I'm enjoying the winter weather. I took the day off of work, and it's in the single digits here. The wind is blowing. I'm not crazy about the wind, but I love the cold. So I was down here testing some of this wood behind me. I wanted to know if I could bundle that for some firewood bundles that I have going out this weekend. And luckily, we're coming in at about 15%. A couple I tested were a little higher, 17, 18, but that's good to go in my opinion. I'm going to mix it with a bunch of dry ash, so even if the person does get a piece that's maybe a little bit more wet, they have the ash, which lights easy and burns real well. So we're going to get those bundled up. Lovely Lisa has said she doesn't want to be out in the cold, so she volunteered to bundle tomorrow. And I already have 40 bundles done up there and in the trailer ready to go. But we had a little bit of snow overnight. Probably, I don't know, there might be an inch here, something like that, maybe an inch and a half. And so I was real happy with the snow. It froze everything up. I can move around pretty good with the tractor, but it's just a little too windy to take trees down today, which is what I really wanted to do. But I do have some stuff up here that I can cut. I want to get into some of the ash. I cut up right before I left this week. Most of you probably have figured out, since you haven't been seeing videos, that I've been traveling a lot for my job. Last week I was in Tampa for the entire week, and this week for most of the week I was in Orlando. I'm a little bit behind and I need to catch up. So I have some small ash laid down I can cut up. I'm going to do that. I got to stay away from the ash trees today with this wind blowing. It's dangerous to be in the woods. When it comes to being in the woods, it's one of those days where those ash trees that are dead, the tops will just come right out of them. And that reminds me, I want to talk about something. If any of you watch Guilty of Treason, there was a guy on there that worked with the crew there, and his name was Jed. I believe it was Jed Walter was his name. And about 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago today, he was cutting down a tree. Did not see a widowmaker up in the tree. It was a storm blowover. And I'll link to the video here. You can hear someone that knows more about it talk about it. But Jed was someone I admired. I'm not one of those people that gets too broken up over a celebrity dying. You know, I have no personal connection to them, but for some reason I had a connection with this guy. And it made me feel really bad that he had gotten killed by this widowmaker. And, you know, I'm throwing this out there. I know all of you try to be careful and whatever, and I feel as though I can fell a tree fairly well, but here's a guy who probably, you know, 1,000 times over has cut down trees, as many trees as I have, and you know, he didn't see it up in the firs, and it came down and he lost his life. And so I just want you all to be careful. The reality is we're all pretty much amateurs in this firewood community. Most of us have not cut the number of trees down that an arborist would, and it's just always important to, you know, look up, check things out. And if you don't think it's safe, you know, let Mother Nature take its course. It's not worth losing your life over. So anyway, I don't want to bring everyone down. I am trying out a new pair of gloves today. These are the Husqvarna winter gloves. And they're winter technical gloves. I'll come up a little closer. And one of my customers for firewood bundles sells Husqvarna. I'm trying to say that correctly. It just doesn't roll off the tongue for me, though. One of the employees there had said to me, hey, you know, buy these, they're really warm. And so far, so good. I don't know how they'll stand up to water. They do have like a rubber on them. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm hoping that they're somewhat waterproof. I don't think they're waterproof, but they're probably water resistant. But we're going to try to keep the cameras rolling today. It is so cold, I don't think these batteries will last a long time. I've got hand warmers in my pockets. I'm shoving the camera in there. As a matter of fact, I didn't even take the time to mount you on a tripod today because it's so cold. I didn't want the battery to die, so I just attached you to the tractor, and that's why you got this little bit of a funny angle here. But anyway, let's get started. We'll do a little cutting here today. I got a piece of maple here. It was dead when I cut it down. I have a feeling it's probably ready to go, but I think it might be full of black ants. So I'm gonna take a couple pieces off, see what we get into. Pretty good. Take another one off, see what happens. So far, so good. I thought that was going to be worse than it is. So we'll be splitting this up for bundles. So I have to clean some of this up. I mean, a lot of this is just too small, and you know, it's just not worth the effort to cut it up. I mean, this one I maybe could, but you know, by the time you put it in the bundles, I don't like putting a lot of round pieces in bundles. A couple here and there is not bad, but try not to overwhelm people with those. So I was talking about Jed from Guilty of Treason. They started a GoFundMe, and I'm going to put a link to that in the description. He had a wife and 2 children, and he was the breadwinner, and you know, I'm sure they're hurting. But when you look at that GoFundMe, you're going to realize how good this community is. It's really remarkable, and I say it all the time, but I'm very fortunate to be invited into this community and respected by others, and you know, I think a lot of them as well. And I have no idea why there's a tractor and trailer going down the road I live on. That's a rare sight. I'm thinking he may be lost. It is brutal out here today. I'm sure lovely Lisa would not be out here with me today even if she wasn't working. One thing I've been thinking about is I got access to a bunch of pallets now. I think I'm going to make a big bin here where I can run the conveyor up into here. It's looking like that might be a good way to get the wood in there. You've probably seen Mike Morgan's. I'm not going to spend that kind of money building a concrete one, but I think I could do something with some pallets here and build something where I can just run it in. It's at least up off the ground. But I'm gonna see if I can get some real sturdy pallets and see if I can't build it up that way. So that's for the future. Ground's slippery this morning. I'm gingerly down over here. Since I had to come up here to the house anyway, I thought, you know what? I'm going to grab some of this hickory here. We're supposed to be down below 0 tonight and tomorrow night. So, boy, I almost got caught in the face there. But I think I'll load some of this up and, you know, fill the house with hickory tonight. That'll keep us nice and warm. This stuff burns great. And, you know, every time I get a chance to get my hands on some hickory, I always do it. And I just got a call from a friend who watches the channel once in a while. And he said, hey, he said, hickory any good to burn? I said, oh my God, yes. He said, well, I have 5 trees. If you take them down, they're yours. He says, I also have at least a cherry tree or 2 that you can have. So I think I'm going to be cutting over at his place a bit. And obviously today it's way too windy to be taking trees down. But, you know, it was nice, nice that he thought of me. So thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. But, you know, I have trouble giving hickory away. And not to mean that I give it away, but I have trouble selling it because I love it so much for heating. Just burns so well. And this hickory was in a video of mine, and I'll tag that video here. I actually took this down up at my parents' house. I think it was last October. It was leaned up out of the ground, and it was all but done for. So it sat out here in the bright sun all summer long. Gets good wind here, and so I know it's good and dry. I didn't test it. I probably should. I can just tell by the weight of it that it's good and dry. But that row behind it is a lot of oak and locust. So the way I stack this in here, I tend to stack the ashes and the cherries and maples on one end, and then the hardwoods on the other, the real hardwoods, good woods like oak and hickory on the other. And that way, as I get deeper into winter and it gets colder, I'm getting into those better heating woods. But I do like to mix in stuff. You know, it's rare that I do something like this where I'm just using one species of wood. You know, if I'm home, I like to tend the fire, so I don't mind going down a couple of times and throwing some cherry on, and it smells good. Obviously, if I could burn black birch all the time, that's probably what I'd burn. But I don't know, it's hard to beat this hickory. The coal production, the heat production, it's just all good. So that's a bucket load. Take that up, I'll fill the house up. I'm gonna save Dallas a little bit of time. She's not gonna get a chance to use her little log carrier today, but I wouldn't make her come out here in this cold and take it from all the way back here. It's easier to do it with the tractor. So I went back down into the woods and started cutting, and we are getting some really gusty winds right now. They had said it was going to gust up to like 35 miles an hour, and I think it's all of that right now. It seems like it's died down at the moment, but snow was blowing, you could hear trees cracking, and I decided, you know what, today wasn't the day. So I think I'm going to go inside and maybe do a few bundles. Maybe I'll video some of that for my next video, and until then, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Working with that grapple is so nice. I wish I would have bought that a long time ago.